Hi, wine moms, and welcome back to another episode of the Mommy Wines podcast. I am your host, as always, Emma Dawn, and in this part 2 episode is the rest of my wonderful conversation with Megan, also known on Instagram as the Trill Wine Wife. Make sure you check her out and stay tuned to hear the rest of our chat.
We're back with another episode of Mommy Wines with your favorite wine mom, Emma Dawn. Tune in while she shares her motherhood experiences, introduces you to motivational and empowering special guests, and sips away your sins. In the Mommy Wines Confessional, mom life can sometimes get lonely and overwhelming, so she created this relatable, inclusive, and supportive space for us to be ourselves. Let loose, enjoy a glass of wine, and laugh. Get ready for today's episode. Here's Emma.
Before we get into today's episode, I just want to talk about being a working mom for a moment. Before the pandemic hit, I was honestly struggling to juggle it all. Getting up, getting ready, getting Milo up, getting him ready, getting both of us out the door, rushing to daycare, leaving him in the uncertain care of a stranger, then sitting in the stresses of rush hour traffic, paying for parking in the garage of my downtown high-rise office, skipping lunch, and then leaving early just to be able to pick him up from daycare on time. Corporate finance didn't match me as a solo parent, and that's why I chose to build my own home bookkeeping business. You might not be in the exact same situation, but whatever your need for flexibility is, I created the Home Bookkeeper Masterclass just for that. Professional and lifestyle flexibility. My course is now, for a limited time, being offered for only $99. In this course, I share everything I've learned about building and scaling my very own remote home bookkeeping practice. Enroll now at edjconsultinggroup.com under resources. So my first question, outside of the blue wine, because I just had to get that off my chest. I needed your professional opinion. But what got you into wine? Because you seem so knowledgeable and you are WeSet certified. And also, what was your first wine experience? Like, what was the turning point in wine for you?
I would have to say I started drinking wine when I went to a festival. Like, somebody invited me to a wine festival, and I was already like a drinker, as you can tell my college stories. So
love them. They're very similar.
My friend was like, "Oh, right. Oh, come go to this wine festival with me." And I was like, "Cool. Like, you pay for a ticket, you can try as much wine as you want." She's like, "Yeah, it's like 50 booths." And I was like, what kind of shit is this? Like, I've never heard no shit like this. So we went to the wine festival, and I tried so many different wines. And because I am the way I am, I want to know why it's like this, or why it tastes like this, or how did they make it, or why is this so good, or why do I like this one, or why are you charging me this much for this bottle? Because that's crazy. Like, no. So I want background information. So I started researching a little bit about it, and then I was like, okay, well, I'll check it out. And of course, because I love drinking wine, like, I was like, this sounds like a good idea. I mean, I can learn about it and drink it. And in order to learn about it, I have to drink it. This is a win-win. Who the fuck? What? Who else would do this?
I want that job.
Right, exactly. So when we moved to Jackson, because we moved to a couple of different places just because of my husband's job, we moved to Jackson. I started looking up wine communities and stuff on Instagram. And I was like, because I don't know anybody here, and I guess a good conversation starter would be to have some wine. So I saw a couple posts from people that were local, and I started going there, and I started meeting some people. So now I have a sommelier that's my friend, and he's my mentor. So he tells me a lot about wines and the different things I need to do. And I've been learning a lot. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to try this. So I applied for a scholarship for a wine certification. I ended up getting the scholarship. I took the test, but you don't get grades for 8 weeks. So still waiting on those results, but I've already registered for the second one. So a lot of this stuff I learned just from my own research and like looking up stuff and researching and learning from him and stuff. And so I knew that this was something that I wanted to make fun. I feel like when people think of wine, they think of like, oh, they're stuck up, or, you know, I don't really like wine. I don't like that one because of this or this or this. And I wanted to make it open for everyone so you could feel comfortable, because you don't want to go somewhere and somebody's like, oh, well, you know, what kind of wine do you like? I don't like wine, or, you know, that might be a good conversation piece where you get a job out of that. Or it might be something where you can meet a new friend, or, you know, it might be a lifelong friend. I have no idea. But I wanted to make it open for everybody. And of course, bringing diversity and culture to wine was one of the things I definitely wanted to do as well. So I think with my facts, when you look at my posts, you know, they're fun. You'll look at the picture and it's going to be eye-catching because it's not like everybody else's. I don't hold the bottle and like smile, and like I don't wear like makeup, and I don't care how my hair looks, and I just be like, whatever, fuck it, I'm just going to be myself, because that's mom life. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. There's never a plan. We might have a plan in place, but that shit never goes the way that we want it to go. Just like,
oh my God.
So it's like,
preach that story.
Let me just be myself and do what I do. And I think that's what catches a lot of people's interest, because I fucking drink from the bottle. I don't drink out the right glasses if I don't want to. I look like shit. Who cares? You know, but when you look at my captions, you're going to see I'm going to give you those straight facts. I'm going to give you what it's going to be like on your palate. I'm going to give you what you're going to be smelling. I'm going to give you what you compare it with. Or typically I pair with real life, like my toddler throwing trucks around, or, you know, my husband pissing me off, or, you know, my twin just being sassy like she is. But, you know, we want real life shit. I don't want some, oh, well, you should do this with some lean meat and some poultry with some shrimp. And you have to do it. You have to sear it the right way. Fuck all that shit. Be yourself. Eat it with some fucking Doritos. I don't care how you eat it. Drink, have fun, live life.
Exactly. Oh my God. So I relate to that so much. And that's why I started following you on Instagram.
Yay.
Is because like I heard a bunch of people talking about you, and you know, going back and forth, just seeing like, you know, the interactions and everything online. Uh-huh. I was like, oh my God, I have to talk to this girl. Like, I have to talk to her. and it's because it is like super just authentic. And one of the things is like, I'm not a wine professional. One of the reasons I started this podcast had nothing to even do with wine. I just thought it would be nice to, it's like a pun, like mommy wines, like mommy talks.
Yeah.
Like I'm like a whiny mom, but like, I just wanted to have a glass of wine, sit down with like real, genuine, relatable women, and just open the door to conversation. And like, I love wine, especially now, like you were saying, as I've gotten older, I can't handle like, I can't drink the things I used to drink back in the day. So what got me into wine is just kind of growing up. I didn't get into it because like I'm some New York Michelin star chef, or I'm some fancy French sommelier. I'm just a regular mom like you, like everyone else, who likes to enjoy a glass of wine. And we need to take a short break to talk about my favorite wine company that gives back, and that's One Hope. I'm proud to say and celebrate that One Hope Wine has reached over $6 million in donations. That's crazy. One Hope's award-winning wines are made by some of the most acclaimed winemakers in the industry. Blending traditional winemaking methods with modern techniques, each exquisite bottle becomes a catalyst for change. One Hope's commitment to high-quality wine is as important as their commitment to the causes they support. Through the sale of every bottle, One Hope has donated over $6 million to impactful causes around the world. They have built a school in Guatemala, funded over 19,000 days of clinical trials for breast cancer research, planted a forest in Indonesia, provided over 3 million meals for children in need, and found over 80,000 pets forever homes. If you're going to sip, then sip with purpose. They even just released the new tasting flights, mini bottles for you to have your own wine tasting right at home. Shop, ship, sip, One Hope at onehopewines.com/myshop/mommywines. Link is in the show notes below.
Yes. And you don't have to be technical about it or anything. I feel like sometimes, like when I talk to people, I feel like, they want me to give them those facts and everything. And then once I kind of see how the conversation goes, because I see that you're cool. So I'm like, oh, I don't have to go through all that, like the technical terms and everything like that. Just drink it. If it tastes good, okay. If it doesn't taste good, okay. Why don't you like it? Let's move on to the next one. If you like this, let's look at this. But yeah, I'm a real mom doing real things. And that's why my name is the way it is, because I'm very honest and I'm very real. I can relate in so many different aspects. Like there's plenty of times where I'm just like, when the pandemic started, I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to close the liquor store. Like I was in fear of my life because I thought they were closing the liquor store, girl. I was like, oh my gosh. I made my husband go to the liquor store. I think I got box wine, I got regular wine, I got liquor, I got beer. I didn't know what was gonna happen. I had to prepare myself mentally and physically with these kids.
You got wine instead of toilet paper?
Yeah. You need to wipe your ass. Go take a shower. It's okay. Just drink some wine while you're in there. I had to think of the most important things, and that is motherfucking important. Okay.
It's a priority.
So yeah, that's how I am. So I can't, there is a lot of people that are like that are like, like super bougie and stuff. And, that's cool or whatever. I can kick it with you, but I can also kick it with somebody else that doesn't know anything about wine, Equal opportunity alcoholic. That is what I call myself, because I will drink wine. I will drink wine with you. We can drink beer. I'll drink a PBR with you. We can take shots. I mean, I just like to have fun. And Truly me down, honey. Truly is my main bitch. Okay. Mm-hmm.
I wish. I don't know. I don't drink soda. I've always been a water person. So
me too. Mm-hmm.
When the Trulies and all those hard seltzers came out, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be the freaking best. Because when I go camping or when I go like on a boat or something, I don't drink beer. Mm-hmm. So it's always kind of like I'm either the sober person or the person everybody's looking at because I'm carrying a bottle of wine on a boat. Like, I don't want to be that person, I want to go to a football game and enjoy myself. I want to watch hockey and fit in, So when the Trulies and the White Claws came out, I was like, oh my God, this is my saving grace. And, but I was like, so it's water. So I'm going to hydrate as I drink. So I'm like, no more hangover.
Right.
No.
Yes.
No. That's not. They give me the worst hangover. And I think it's because of the carbonation. It makes me so bloated. I get like cramps after like the second one. And
oh my gosh, this is tragic.
It is. It's a loss I didn't even know I would be mourning. But I'm like, I was so excited. I had so much hope, but I think it's because I don't ever drink carbonation that my body just reacts like, what the hell is this? Why are you doing this to me? So my friend was like, oh, well, why don't you just get regular seltzers and drink like half of one a day and work your way up? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to build my tolerance for Trulies. Okay.
Just scratch the plan. Let's come up with something else.
I'll let everyone look at me with my bottle of wine on a boat and I'll just like live my life, whatever. I'm too old to be changing my ways.
Right. Live your best life. I think I like this seltzer so much because I like seltzer water. Like I can drink just carbonated water. Like I love just plain, plain seltzer water. Cause I drink a lot of water cause it's coffee, water, wine, water, wine. So it's my routine. I drank a lot of like sparkling waters and LaCroix and stuff like that before. So when I had the Truly, I was like, oh my gosh, and it's gonna be like a little bit of a buzz. This is the best like play date drink ever.
Oh my gosh. There are so many segues into what we're gonna do next. And we are gonna be playing a game. Are you ready?
I'm ready, I think.
We are going to be playing a game of truth or drink.
I need to go get my bottle. Let me text my husband and be like, hey, can you bring my bottle here? I'm going to need it because I'm pretty sure it's going to be me drinking. I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Can you bring my bottle, honey? All right. I'm ready. Game on.
Okay. Maybe I'll insert some cool music there. Game show music. So the first one is, have you ever used something that's not a baby wipe to wipe during a diaper change? Like, have you picked up a sock off the floor, a shirt?
Yeah. Yeah. A shirt, a pad, toilet paper. I was just like, just put some water on this. And yeah, definitely have done that. So I drink, right?
No, you told the truth. You drink when you don't want to answer the question. Oh my gosh.
You got the game all wrong already.
My son, so we live in northern Nevada and his grandparents live in southern Utah. So it's like 6.5, 7 hours. But when he was a baby, I took him down for the first time to like see his grandparents when he was like 6 or 7 weeks old. And it was a 10-hour trip. And newborns, they do nothing but nurse and shit. Nurse and shit.
Yep.
And I'm like, he was not even done nursing before he would like just explode. I'm like, are you even getting nutrients?
Yes.
Like, aren't you supposed to
ones
like
that go all the way up their back?
Yes. So,
I don't miss that.
As the first time new mom I was with a baby who has just only been in my house until this experience, pretty much. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to bring like 1 pack of diapers and like a pack of wipes on this trip for, 5 days.
Oh. Cute.
We ran out of wipes halfway there. So I have the hatch of my SUV open and I'm laying him out to change him and I like run out of wipes. And I'm like, literally, we're 5 hours into this trip. And I just start reaching for whatever's in my trunk. I'm like, and then, I just go, and then I can't throw it on the side of the road. So I have to wait until like the next rest area.
Oh.
So the car was awful. Oh my God. Miserable. Misery. So bad. And then the next question has been a really hot question lately. And I think it's because a reel has recently went viral, but we've talked about it on the podcast recording on Friday. And I'm going to ask you this now because you are real, you're authentic. I feel like you're not going to lie to me. But the question is, and you can drink if you don't want to tell the truth. Do you enjoy playing with your kids?
No, not at all. What the fuck? I thought this was going to be a hard one. Girl, fuck no. I do not. I don't at all. So I try to find stuff for them to do so they can either play with themselves or others. I don't like it at all. I love my kids, but I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I don't like fucking playing with them. Like, no.
So Milo is into trains, and I noticed your son is also into Thomas the Train. But
everything.
But he's really into trains. And for Christmas, his dad texted me and he's like, what does he like? Like, what does he want? Did he tell you anything, for Christmas? And I was like, dude, the fucking kid does nothing but play with trains. Trains all day. Okay. So now my entire house is overwhelmed by trains because I bought him trains. And then his dad also bought him trains. So now, but we have those old, like the wooden train tracks that you like just put together. I love building those train tracks for myself. Like I like the creativeness of building the most bomb ass track the floor has ever seen.
Right.
But what makes me mad and is why I can't stand playing with my kid is because he is a destructor. He comes through and he'll play for like 5 minutes. It took me an hour and a half to build a track that goes all the way around our house, right? He comes in, plays 5 minutes, and then starts kicking stuff. And he's like, I'm Godzilla. Yep. And I'm like, get your Godzilla ass out of here, kid. You got to go. This is my track. I spent my life, sweat, and tears have gone into this. And you're just ruining it. You gotta go.
Guys, it's so true. Like, my son is really into the Hot Wheels cars. So, of course, everybody's asking me, what does he want for Christmas? I'm like, get Hot Wheels. I don't care. We've got like over a fucking 1,000 cars, I feel like. The shit is just everywhere. And so, thank you. It's just everywhere. So, I stepped on them. And you're like, okay, I'm not going to lose my shit. I'm going to put it up and I'm going to, wait. Then he dumps all of them out, all on the floor and everything. Like, they don't care. The kids do not care. They're like, oh, okay, that looks nice. Kick, push, don't care. Ha, you took some time to do that. You shouldn't have. Like, so I feel you on that. I totally feel you.
He does. He dumps everything out. I tell him, because he has the little storage thing for his toys that has all the removable bins. And I'm like, okay, go in there and get this one thing. And he comes out with the entire bin and then just dumps it on the floor. And I'm like, thing, one thing.
Yep. I made a TikTok about that. Like, I just miss cleaning up just my room or just the kitchen. It's like I'm cleaning up everything. He had shit everywhere. I have to send it to you. He had shit everywhere. That's normal. Every day.
Every day. I've given up. My friends used to come over, and I had this one friend when I lived in Northern Nevada the first time, because I moved to Salt Lake for work and then came back. And she would like randomly pop in. Like, she's one of those friends that would just like come over and like just not knock. Like, she'd just walk in the door or she'd see us outside, and she'd just be like, pull her car over and come on in, which I didn't care. But back then, my house was always perfect because I had planned on staying home with Milo. And so like I had pushed other things aside. I had like creative projects I was working on. Like this podcast actually used to be a blog. And then my blog readers were like, you need to start a YouTube channel. And I'm like, hell no. So I started a podcast. Oh yeah,
I don't like being on camera. I totally agree with that.
But I would like blog during his naps. And back then he napped like 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah, I don't get naps either. He doesn't nap.
Now I work my business. I have my podcast. I have the nonprofit that I'm working on. And I have other creative projects. And my kid who is supposed to be in school. We are now homeschooling and it's a pandemic. So I was like, you know what? I used to follow you around with like a disinfectant wipe and a Dyson, but fuck it. I'm going to clean. I clean my house like once every 2 weeks when he's gone with his dad.
Yep. Yeah. Like my husband, like he's a unicorn. Okay. Let me tell you why. I think God like brought him down to me because he knew I was just, a messy kind of like fucked up person. So I needed somebody to make sure that they helped me, through those and still love me and love my crazy because I am crazy. So he like right now he's like cleaning. He cooks, he cleans. He can do 5 loads of laundry in one sitting. I mean, wash, dry, fold, hang up, and put my stuff up. 5 loads, one day, not a drop is left. Even matches socks, girl. He matches socks, girl. Yes. So he does that. He goes to the grocery store.
Is he one of those guys that enjoys it?
Like no, I used to date. Doesn't want me to do it.
Oh. That might even be better. I used to date this guy who was kind of OCD. So he had to switch his laundry to the dryer as soon as it stopped washing because he was like worried about the smell of mildew. When I'm like, God. I start everything. I start the dishwasher. I start the laundry before, like when we leave the house. I'm like, I just turn everything on.
Exactly. Like, whatever happens. Like
I'm like,
it washed. I don't feel like putting it in the dryer. I'm just gonna wash it again. It's all right. Like,
no, I do that all the time.
Yeah, like when he gets really mad, he cleans with bleach. Girl, like he makes up the bed. Like he's like, babe, I don't want you to have to do it because I know you got a lot to do with the kids and everything. So I'm gonna do it for you.
See,
Okay.
kids are a lot of work. Like, I don't think people
They
realize.
They
And,
don't.
ugh.
We need more wine. Yeah, you're going to need some shots after this. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. And I feel like, so that also brings me into a question that I had prepared outside of the game, and we can turn this into a truth or drink question.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on the wine mom culture and the shaming around it? Because I am going to tell the truth on this.
Yeah.
I think that if somebody is over the top wine mom and they're taking it a little too far, and then they turn back and then they blame their own problems on like, oh, this is wine mom culture. That makes me so mad because I am somebody, you got to take responsibility for your own shit.
Right.
But
right.
I feel like my grandma used to keep a bottle of vodka underneath her kitchen sink and swear up and down to Mother Mary that she has never tasted a lick, because she's from the South, of alcohol. And I'm like, girl, you are lying. You're lying through your teeth. and I feel like there's this like thing that women are starting to overcome with having to be perfect. And I feel like with social media and what me and you and other moms on Instagram are doing is showing the real, raw, relatable side of motherhood. And I feel like being a mom, you're so overly stimulated. It's constant noise. It's constant dodging Legos, and it's tidying up and all of the things. That like to kind of unwind at the end of the day, a glass or two of wine, just it helps. It's nice to have like that personal time to yourself where you can watch an episode of Grey's Anatomy when the kids have gone to bed. You can drink a glass of wine, and it's like this calm, but also like fully adult thing you're doing. Like this is a grown up thing. And that's kind of what got me into wine, because I'm like, oh, it's fun. I can learn all about it. I can, and it's been interesting to like go on the like learning process instead of just being a consumer. But I'm like, this is like my one grown up thing throughout the week that I'm like, I can come back to, and I feel put together when I drink wine. Now, if I was still back in the day drinking Boone's Farm and MD 2020, I'm sure I wouldn't feel put together, because I didn't then and I won't now. But like when I open a nice bottle of wine, I sit down and I watch a grown-up show that has no animation. It's like, that is wine mom to me. Wine moms, I have a confession. Coffee is one of my major food groups. Having my son home with me all year through a pandemic, expanding my home bookkeeping practice, EDJ Consulting Group, getting my nonprofit program, Sterling Lives, approved, beginning to homeschool, starting sports, getting roped into being a coach. It's honestly what keeps me going and retaining the little bit of sanity I have left. Coffee over cardio is my go-to lifesaver. It's owned and operated by female entrepreneur Abby Scott, and it's all carb-free, sugar-free, keto-friendly, and gluten-free. With super fun flavors like birthday cake, cinnamon bun, French toast, vanilla hazelnut, my favorite, and so many more, you honestly can't go wrong. Coffee over cardio has all your coffee accessories like tumblers and frothers, creamers, and my must-have hydrate you can add to coffee or water, upping the flavor and hydration with electrolytes. Abby is seriously a genius. Get 10% off when you use my code 10EMMADAWN and free shipping on orders over $85. Once again, that's code 10EMMADAWN, and the link is in the show notes below. Okay, wine moms, let's get serious, but just for a moment. For years, I have been dreaming up and working on putting together a nonprofit program to aid the youth aging out of the foster care system. Recently, I submitted this idea to the heads of the Department of Child and Family Services here in my state, and thankfully, my program was approved. They saw an overwhelming need, and the Sterling Lives program is now moving forward. But to make this a reality, we will need more than the little bit of government funding allocated for these youth. Most of these youth aging out will face homelessness, addiction, incarceration, or worse. At best, many continue the cycle of negativity by entering into criminal organizations and gangs, or abusive relationships that result in unwanted pregnancies, poverty, unsafe work trades, leading to even more children entering the foster care system and families living off government welfare. To break these chains and end the cycle, the Sterling Lives program is dedicated to helping aged out youth transition into healthy, productive adults, granting youth eco-friendly and affordable housing, safe work opportunities with flexible schedules to prioritize mental health, education, and job training, all while boosting America's rural economy with sustainable, environmentally focused tourism. Ways you can help are by snagging up some MWP merch, drinking One Hope wine, and donating directly at the Sterling Lives GoFundMe. All links are in the show notes below.
So I had never heard about like the mom wine shaming and stuff like that before. I think because I don't know. I think maybe I would just, if I saw it, I'd be like, oh, okay. If that's good for you. Me, totally different. I totally agree with you because I think a lot of times with us being at home with our kids, we're just used to doing the same thing, the same schedule over and over again, making breakfast, cleaning it up, making lunch, cleaning it up, watching a show with them, taking this, showing ABCs, let's learn colors, all these different things. And we have so many different things going on, just like to have that time where you can just relax and just have a glass of wine or whatever. Now, I can say there are a lot of times that my kids like frustrate me and I'm like, I need to go ahead and like take a shot or something to calm my nerves because I do not want to yell at these kids anymore. Let me get it together because right now you guys are testing my patience. You want my gangster to come out and I don't got time today. So, there is earlier happy hour days for me sometimes because I used to, when the pandemic first started, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I'm drinking all day. I was like, oh, who knows what's going to happen? But now I have set myself a happy hour time. So at 6 p.m., I know that I want to have all my stuff done, all my stuff that I need to use my brain for. Because when I drink. Like, I'll have a glass of wine, and then I might have two. And then I might have the bottle. I mean, fuck it. Who knows? Who knows what could happen in a day? Okay? But I feel like that is the time where I can watch an adult show or something like that. We've finished homework or we finished doing all of my daily duties and chores and all that kind of stuff. And that's my time. But I don't think anything's wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with, there is a woman I used to work with and every night at a certain time, her and her husband, she would have her scotch, he would have his whiskey, they would have their drinks, they would eat dinner, have another drink after dinner. And that was their night. Unless it was a Saturday, because Saturday was for vodka. But there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with taking that time because like we're just prone to be quick. We got to do this. We got to do that. We got to do this. And then even when we lay our heads down to go to sleep, we're thinking about all the different things that we have to do. Like, so to take that time to relax, to watch a show, I'm all for it. I am. And, it's not like I get my wine. I'm like, oh, I'm going to drink this because I'm having this tonight. And it's 14.5. It's a Napa Valley cab. And no, I don't give a shit. I'm going to drink what I want to drink. Like I'm drinking a Riesling right now because it's 9%. I know I have to function for the rest of the day. So I know if I start with this, I'll be okay. And I can drink my big, bold baddies later. But I'm not like sitting here analyzing my wine and doing all that. Like I'm just drinking it to be drinking to relax.
Yeah.
If I could smoke weed, I would do that, but I can't. So,
you got to move to Nevada.
Do what you do to make you feel good. Yeah. And it's also a form of self-care. Like, they always tell us, oh, you need self-care. You need to do this. This is my self-care because it's the only time I have to myself. I can't go out and do these different things. I have children. Like, my husband's not, like I told you, he's not here during the week. So I'm doing everything myself. So if this is what I need to do to make me feel good, don't try to shame me on that shit. I'll shut your ass down. Shut it down.
Oh my God. It's so funny because like there's sometimes I will have a guest on the show and they'll be like, yeah, I get so much hate in my inbox. Like, I'm with you, girl. And then other times I have women on the show that are like, mom shaming. What is that? And I'm like,
girl,
are you
never
kidding?
heard of it. See, I've never had like one thing.
I posted, me and Kayla's podcast episode went way long because we got real chatty. I think between her and I, she drank a bottle, I drank a bottle. The conversation was just going. So I split her episode into 2 episodes. I did like a part 1 and a part 2. And before that, and I didn't even notice this because when people schedule, they schedule themselves. I have the Calendly and it allows me to set the times that I'm available. And then it's just easy for them to choose when they're available. So like when people record with me, I don't plan it ahead of time. So like I had another bookkeeper I reached out to. I was like, oh my God, I need to talk to you because it's a pandemic. People are going crazy. She also works with small business. She does. This is my dog.
I can hear you now.
I muted it because she was barking. Go on, you big beast. But I had a woman named Rachel on the show who is a single mom, and she also runs a remote accounting practice. And she does bookkeeping and accounting for small businesses. And I'm like, oh my God, that's what I do. I need to talk to you. And her episode went right before Kayla's episode. And Kayla's episode was split into 2 because we just got crazy.
Had a great time.
We had a great time. We were drinking. Conversation was going.
Yeah.
We still talk after her episode, like probably 3 or 4 times a week.
I love it.
It's one of the reasons I love this show. But I got a bunch of, and I gotta go back and see if it was like January or February. I don't know. It was kind of recent. But I got a bunch of DMs in my messages of people that are like, why are you posting 2 women of color back to back? Are you trying to prove something? I was like, prove what? And I had to like go back in my podcast and I'm like, who did I post? You know, whose episode went live last week? And they were like, oh, is somebody calling you out for being a racist? I was like, no. And they're like, oh, everyone's about diversity nowadays. Are you hopping on that diversity bandwagon? I'm like, what are you talking about? I had to go into my Anchor and look at what episodes went live because I like edit them, produce them, schedule them, and whatever. And I just do it in order. So I didn't plan it. I didn't think twice about it. And then I was like, oh my God, I didn't think twice about this. Am I a problem? Like,
girl,
is it like, I was just like, oh, this is an episode. This is an episode. I was like,
are you?
Oh, so bad. And then.
Are you ready for my response? Because I'm ready. Whenever you're ready.
Okay, ready.
Girl, first of all, the people that slide up in your inbox that say some crazy, and they're probably not going to like me either because they're like, oh my gosh, she curses so much. Oh my gosh. Fuck that. Okay. That's how I feel about that. First of all, the people that go into your inbox and say things like that are the people that are racist. If you can notice that there is a person of color or a person that is not the same, and you notice that, and you make it a topic for yourself to think that you can open up your mouth and say that to somebody, you are racist because it wouldn't matter. It's a woman. It's a mom. It's somebody that you can connect with. And I'm not saying that because I am what I am, but the people don't know. People that are racist or people that have problems with people of a different color or have an issue with that are people that call those things out. Like for me, I wasn't like, oh, okay, well, let me go and see if this is a white person or a black person or an Asian person, or I'm not like that. Like, no, like my family's mixed. So nobody knows what I am.
Oh my God.
You just look at me and you're like, oh my gosh, you're black. Okay.
It stressed me out so bad because I was like, I reached out to Rachel because I was like, she's a single mom. She has boys. She's an accountant bookkeeper. I'm like, we are the same freaking person, basically. And what I loved is that her boys were a little bit older. Like she has some teenager, she has a teenager, like a preteen, and then the younger boy. And I just have the one, just me and Milo.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she's going to have like so much insight on like boys as they grow up. And like, you know, she's been doing this she's been running her business way longer than me.
Yeah.
And then Kayla, our episode just went long. So she got 2 episodes because I was like, I can't, everything was gold. I was like, I can't like cut any of this out. I'm just going to split it in 2. And then like, I think honest to God, I probably got more than 60 messages. And then I was sitting there,
this is mind blowing,
reading what like people were sending me in the messages. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even think about it. Should I have thought about it? And like, am I a part of the problem because this isn't something I'm thinking about? I was like, oh my God, caused me so much stress. Cause I was like, man, I didn't notice. Should I have noticed? I'm like,
yeah, no, that just shows, that's just like those people that say, well, I have one Black friend. They're so funny and they're so cool. Like that's the kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, okay, I know this. Oh my gosh, no. But I do know this Black person that works at the bookstore that I talk to sometimes. That's the same kind of people. That's the same kind of people that are in your inbox. Those are called hating ass bitches. Okay. Hating ass bitches will do stuff like that. And they will sit there and throw your game off because they're so used to being themselves. They feel like that's how everybody else should be. Because you didn't notice, it shows that you're a real human being and that you were raised right. Okay. These are probably the same people that, you know, said that, you know, the people on the Capitol was, you know, it was nothing. It's fine. You know, so you got to think of the people that.
That's not fine. That is straight up domestic terrorism.
Girl, no. They thought that was fine. That was peaceful. It was peaceful, Hansi. Okay. But it's just like, there's just certain things that people say that shouldn't come out of their mouth, but they also feel that it's social media and they kind of hide behind their name and stuff that they can say whatever. Don't lose sleep over that. I know it can be like really hard, but it's not that people are into diversity now. It's just something that has always been there. It's just it never happens because of people like that. So I'm sorry that happened to you because that is wrong and you're not wrong. And people, it's really bad because it goes back past that. It's not even what you're doing or who you're interviewing or anything like that. It's because people mainly just look at color. If I was to be on the phone and you never saw who I was, you would not know what I was. Okay. You wouldn't know from my name or anything. And that's because when my parents named me, they wanted me to make sure that I could get into the door. I can get an interview or anything like that. So if you see Megan on, you know, something, they're like, oh, okay, come on in. It's because my family knew what was going on. I mean, people of color, people that are diverse, different ethnic backgrounds, they know what's up. We know how people talk about us. We know how things go. But because of that, we had to learn to be a certain way or do certain things or anything like that and tiptoe around. I'm just not that kind of person. But I feel bad that they said that to you. So totally ignore them. I hope they unfollowed you and do not think that you're wrong. You're absolutely right.
I hope they didn't unfollow me, and I hope they're listening to this right now.
Oh, yeah. Tell them to slide in my inbox. I got some for them.
Yeah, go ahead, slide into her inbox, the woman who doesn't even know what mom shaming is. I'm like, oh, she'll tell you something. She'll tell you.
See, but they're
going to be running off of Instagram with their tail behind between their legs.
I can't wait. I'll be there with a bottle. Check me, boo.
Now, that kind of leads into something else. I was curious because so throughout March, there's been all of this women in wine and all of this stuff about uplifting the women in wine. But then in February, I was listening to an episode way back, like last summer. Caitlin Bristow, who was on The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, she has a podcast called Off the Vine. And she had one of the past Bachelor contestants on her show as a guest, who is now like a sommelier. But she's kind of doing what we're doing, which is just making wine easy, like breaking it down, keeping it simple, and just making it fun.
Yeah.
And she was talking about how like the wine industry is so like dominated by like white men. And I'm like, wait, I see only women in wine. But as I've kind of gotten in more into the wine industry, my curiosity is sparking and I've learned more about it. Like, what do you kind of think of the diversity that's happening, more women coming into the wine world, and where it's going to go? Because I see so many women popping up who are like doing the, like what we're doing is just breaking the wine down and keeping it fun.
Yeah. I do see more women in the industry. But I think it's been a whole like change, because before it was such a culture shock for a woman to be in wine, or for for somebody that's not white to be in wine, because it was known for, it's high society, it's for rich people, it's for this type of person, it's for this type of person. And when you think of that, it was mainly connected to white males. White males usually have money. They're usually ones that run companies. They're usually the people that can open $100 bottle of Dom Perignon or anything like that. But
somebody needs to tell Boone's Farm.
Oh, somebody needs to tell him something.
Who's running that?
Right. I need to know. I need to know what they put in that, because I don't know what's in there. But I think it's shifting, where there is more women that are thinking out of the box, that are thinking, I can do this. I can run this vineyard. I can create wine. I can do this. So I definitely think there is going to be more women in wine. There's going to be more diversity in wine. There's going to be more culture in wine. And just because people are starting to understand, it's not just for one person, it's for everybody. The United States of America is for everybody. It's not just for one type of person. So I also look at that, like, just with working with companies and everything like that, you want to make sure that it's open to all, not just for some. So I do see the change there, and I'm glad about the change. I'm happy about it. But it's still something that everybody's working towards to make that change. It's not going to change all of a sudden, but it takes time. So with it taking time, and, people are learning more, they're going to school for it, they're getting these certifications. That's why you see women in wine scholarships, or you see diversity in wine scholarships, because people are actually wanting that change in wine. It like I said, it's for all. So why not give all a chance to be able to do that?
Definitely. I just think of wine and I think of women. I don't know why, but like, I feel I've never even known a guy, dated a guy, been on a date with a guy who drinks wine. Mm-hmm. And I think because of like just my experience, I'm like, when I go out to brunch with my girlfriends back in the day, you could do that. And I lived in Cleveland, because that's where I'm from. So I'm like, well, when I lived in a city that had brunch, not this wild, wild west. And when, before the, pandemic, back when everybody had lives, we'd go out to dinner, we'd go to happy hours, we'd go to brunch. And it was always groups of women having wine. And when I even it's different out here, but like we would have like professional networking cocktail parties. The women would all be drinking wine. The men would have bourbon, scotch, whatever, gin and tonics, that kind of stuff. I'd never even had that correlation of men and wine. It's always been a female thing for me. And then as I've kind of gotten more into the industry, I've talked to more winemakers and more people who are in the wine world. I'm like, wow, my brain is just like, I'm like that little emoji with like the explosion. It's in like
mind blown. Mind blown.
I'm like, because it's just, I feel like wine is so female.
And like dainty and like cute and like, I don't want to scotch. I would love to have a white wine spritzer. Like, there's girl. I think it's because of maybe the environment you were in. I've always seen like a lot of men. I've always seen like a lot of white males with wine and cigars. I thought that was like more of a male thing. And then with the wine, I know that a lot of women would order a certain type, either Chardonnay or Moscato. It was never anything beyond that. And so what I came across is that there is more people and more women that are getting into wine, and men are the ones that run the company. You know, men are the ones that create it. And so then they have the workers, or they might have somebody tending to their vineyard that is a woman, but they're never noticed, you know, because it's that person that came in, he brought the money, he created this, his name is on the label. So, but I did see more males drinking wine. Now, in the South, I've noticed that it's more of like Scotch, whiskey, bourbon, beer, tequila, stuff like that. And that's like what my husband drinks as well. But then if I'm with my friend that's a sommelier, I see the men drinking wine, or I see that they know more about it. And I want to be able to pull up a seat at the table as a woman and say, this is the breakdown of this wine. You know, I want to be knowledgeable of what I'm speaking about. And that's another reason why I was like, you know, let me go ahead and do this wine certification and get this rolling, because, you know, I want other women to see me and be like, I see that she's done it. I see how she is. Why not let me try and do those things? And that's what's happening with the women that are producing wines, that are creating wines. They saw one woman do it and said, you know, I can do this as well. Let's not push the envelope. And it's just, I think it's beautiful to see. I think it's been wonderful just seeing the expansion of women all across the country working together, doing things together. And I think it took a lot with the past, like probably like the past elections and things of that nature, that women are starting to step up more, like, let me put my foot down and show what that I can do, you know? So I think it's wonderful. I love to see it. Love it.
I love it too. And you have to remember, like, think about it. It's like our generation, like our moms didn't have like the same opportunities that we do. And like our grandmothers didn't have the same opportunities that their daughters had. Right. So when I think about it, I think of my grandma hiding vodka under her kitchen sink. To
it wasn't
to now me having this show. And I think just the show, having the opportunity to have open, judgment-free conversations. Like I bet we're learning from each other right now, and we're just having a talk, drinking some wine, you know? And I think the more we do that, there's no downside. We're just going to continue to grow.
Right.
And like, I remember, like, I was thinking about this the other day, and throughout like the time where the pandemic and everything kind of shut everything down, was my mom ran a home healthcare business. She took care of like older sick people in their homes, went and visited them, you know, helped to go to doctor's appointments, gave them medicine. Right. But back then, oh my God, she would never have had the opportunity to have a remote business. And I think about that when I get frustrated because my son and I are always together. You know, sometimes it's overwhelming. Like I sometimes like put him to bed, and then I'm like, oh my God, thank God it's fucking bedtime. But then but then I think, like, how lucky am I to be able to have the opportunity to live in this day and age, to live in a world that, you know, maybe going through a pandemic, but is like, the people nowadays are just so open to, you know, like doing the next thing or having the flexibility. Like, I'm able to run my business from this tiny little foldable device where my mom literally had to like go see people in person. Like, and then, I just like, I get racked with guilt because I'm like, oh my God, like I'm so freaking lucky. Why am I wanting my kid to go to bed? Like I get to spend so much time with him, and then he wakes up, and then I'm grateful. And then by 3:30, I'm like, go to fucking bed. And
That's
the cycle of motherhood.
Don't feel bad about that, or because of somebody. Everybody has their own struggle. You have your own struggle for yourself, and that doesn't mean that your struggle is not as bad as my struggle. I have my own struggles. You have your own, and it doesn't mean that you're a bad parent or you're wrong for feeling that way. You're human. Okay. You have all the things. You're doing the right thing. You're taking care of your kid. You have shelter. You have food. Don't put that on yourself like, oh, I feel bad because, girl, no, you're doing a damn good job. Okay. Keep that shit up. Okay. Don't think like that. And all women, all moms think like that. I'd be ready for my kids to go to bed for real. I mean, I love them. I pray over them and everything, but sometimes enough is enough. So, just because somebody else had a different struggle, they actually had to go to work and do those things. That's what happened. But we're evolving. Every year, every time, every month. Yes, we're evolving into something different where it can be changes like that. And we're still going to have struggles. There's still going to be issues. There's still going to be like, I need more time in the day or anything of that nature. So definitely don't feel guilty for that. Like, shout out to all the moms doing their damn thing out there, because this shit is hard.
Shit is hard. We definitely have it better than the people who became before us, but not as good as the ones that are going to be coming up next.
Yeah,
but
exactly. So,
and these conversations, just simple conversations, are a great way to start getting there.
Yes, exactly. I totally agree. Even with your grandmother having the vodka under the cabinet, she needed a mom break, just like you have your mom break watching Grey's Anatomy. She needed a little break. She needs something to calm her nerves, and that's what we do. So I don't feel like there's anything wrong with it. Of course, my mom thinks I'm an alcoholic. She's like, you drink wine and you can't learn about wine, and but that's how she was raised. It was raised for a woman not to be able to do those things, or not to. It doesn't feel right if you're not dressed up as soon as your husband comes to the door and be ready. And she's like, why girl, he's gonna take me just like how I am. No,
it's like that reel that's like, oh, the one benefit of being married is I can look like this and I'm 125% going to get laid tonight. Like,
right. Exactly. He still wants all of this. He don't care what it looked like or what it's clothed under or anything. He wants all of it. So,
but that is a good man and a good husband. A lot of people, and I've noticed it because being from Cleveland, it is such a melting pot. It's such a progressive city. I feel like the East Coast, even though people are like, oh, isn't that Midwest? No, shut your mouth. It's the East Coast. If it takes me a shorter amount of time to get to the ocean than it does to the Midwest, I live on the East Coast. So that's my Cleveland coming out. But anyway, it's so progressive and so diverse. Like nobody really, I took that privilege for granted when I was young. Nobody in my financial practice or when I was working in the financial industry back then, nobody looked at me and thought that I was any less capable because I was a woman.
Right.
It wasn't until I moved to Utah where I was like, I had to like check my privilege because I was like, these are things I never thought I would ever have to deal with. Like, why are you right? I am a single white female and everything that entails. So I don't know why you're treating me like this. I was like, that was supposed to be my one benefit in life and you're ruining it, Utah. Like, come on now. But I don't know. I think the first step, and one of the things I love about podcasts and podcasting is just having those conversations. Sparking that fire, the curiosity, going wherever your mouth takes you, which can sometimes be dangerous.
Yeah, my mouth is real bad. But it opens you up to things that you didn't even think about or even know about it because you've never been in that other person's situation. So you would never know the things of, having me to have a different type of name or having to deal with anything in the wine world or mom world or anything like that because you haven't talked to a person like that. So now that you have, you're opening up different doors and different avenues. And you're like, wow, I never knew that. It's all about conversation. And that is what I was saying. Wine is a conversation piece. It's a networking piece. It's so many different things that could help you. And you're learning just from just speaking with me, the smallest things that you didn't even think about, that those are important things to me that you don't even have to worry about.
Yeah. I use wine as a conversation starter. It also lubricates the conversation when we're podcasting.
Exactly. Yeah, because I'd be wine drated because I need to be hydrated. So I need to be wine drated. Need that.
So on this show, my favorite part of the show, my absolute favorite, is confessions. Now, this whole episode could have been a confession, but did you prepare a confession for me? Because I will sip away your sins.
I know. Gosh, I'm trying to think of one. Like, I can tell you one. I had a confession like a couple weekends ago. That would be a good one. That'd be really good.
Spill the beans.
So, me and my husband, we haven't been on a date since last March, and we don't have like family and friends here. Okay, so one of his players said that they would watch the kids. You know, they have been tested for COVID, all that kind of stuff, and so we were like, "Hey, that's a night out." So I get dressed up. I'm so excited. I took a shot before my shower because I had to relax because I was worried. So I was like, I'm leaving the kids. I'm going out here and I'm nervous. You know, it's all the different things that you could possibly think of. Take a shower, come out, get dressed. And of course, I'm like, oh, maybe this outfit's not right. Or, you know, you think of everything in the world, of course. Or maybe I should just stay with the kids, or maybe I should just drink at home. And my husband's like, come on, no, we're going out. He pours me another shot. I think he poured me like 2 shots. So let's okay, we're on 3 now, okay? We're on 3.
I'm gonna keep count.
Oh God. We go to a restaurant and he orders a bottle of wine. And I'm like, okay. And then a shot came. Okay. And then I had a jalapeno margarita. I had another jalapeno margarita. He saw some friends. Well, it was one of his old players at the bar, and his wife was with him, and me and his wife were talking and stuff. We had a shot at the bar. Okay. Came back to the table. I told the server guy that the bartender was rude to me. He brought another shot over. By this time, I'm just like, I don't think I ate enough. There was not any, where's the bread? Like, you know how you get like bread baskets and stuff like that? Girl, I had like some meat and some vegetables and a salad. That wasn't working for me. Okay, clearly it didn't.
You need bread.
Mind you, yes. Okay,
Hannah
so the girl
said you cannot eat a salad and drink.
No.
She said it doesn't work.
No. I there was no bread on the menu. Either way, apparently his player's wife now, like, she was like my girlfriend. Like, she was like trying to like hug me and trying to like kiss on me and like I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I know that I've been drinking, but damn, like she was like all over me. And my husband was just like, what the fuck is going on? Second bottle to the table because he had people there. So he was like, well, let's just order another bottle. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Both of those bottles were gone. After this, I don't remember. Okay, I don't remember anything after that point.
Hopefully you
My husband
Ubered.
was like, the girl like switched numbers with you. You know, her husband was right there, and she was like all over you. He was like, you were so drunk. He was like, you threw up like 6 times on the way home. Like, you came home and threw up. The next morning, he had to give me medicine, like, so I wouldn't be nauseous. And he was like, and then after that, you want to drink some more. He was like, I think that you had a great night, and now you have a new girlfriend. I said, oh my God, I don't remember any of this.
Well, now when your husband's on the road and you get lonely, you got a girlfriend. You got a little side piece. That's all right. That's all right.
Girl, I was just like, oh my God. Oh, that's never happened to me. He was like, see, I didn't even know you swung that way. I was like, would you shut the hell up? That is not what's happening over here. You know I'm strictly dickly. Do not play with me. Like, oh gosh, I was so embarrassed when I woke up, and I was just like, what did I do? I was like, are the people around me okay? Like, is everybody okay? Like, the kids are fine and everything. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe how that happened. I was like, see, when I haven't even gone out anywhere, and look how I acted. I don't even know how I ingested that many drinks, but clearly it all came out. So
Pandemic.
yeah. 2 days of throwing up.
Oh
yeah.
I feel like there's nothing worse than, okay, first of all, I feel like motherhood permanently changes the DNA in your body.
Oh my gosh, yes.
But then there's nothing worse than like being a mom, getting like 1 or 2 nights out like a year.
Yes.
And you just want to go out, you want to party, you want to fist bump, you want to have a good time. And you're like, and then you are just knocked down so many levels.
Yes.
And you wake up the next day, you're like,
totally.
I can't. That's not who I am anymore. And
no,
it's sad. It's sad.
I tried it. It's sad. I don't know what I was thinking. I mean, I was super thirsty that day. I just could not believe.
So was she.
Clearly, she wanted the goodies. She wanted the Meg. Okay, she wanted it. I was just like,
I will wash away your sins.
Yes, but the crazy part is, you know how like you look at your phone and you just look through pictures and you're like, what the fuck was going on? Oh my God. Like,
yes.
Just like looking at your pictures like, oh my God. Oh, then you have to look at Snapchat to make sure you didn't snap anything crazy. You have to make sure you didn't put anything crazy on your stories. Cause it's like, when you drink, it's just like, you want to do everything. You want to buy stuff. I be buying shit from Amazon and everything. After a bottle, I mean, who knows what's going to come in the mail, or who knows what's in your phone. It was just like, so embarrassing. And I drink so much water, and girl, embarrassing.
That's okay. I'll sip away your sin.
So how many shots was that?
I got up to 12. I got up to 12 drinks.
Oh my God.
I counted to 12 before I stopped. And then you're like, well, my husband ordered a bottle. And I was like, oh God, okay. I'm losing count.
No more fingers or toes.
You can hang more than me because, okay, I will share a confession with you. And here, actually, hold on, because I got to pee. There we go. Yay. So when I had moved to Utah, after I had my son Milo, I had a lot of anxiety. I had moved to Elko, Nevada, a place I had never been before. I am currently 1,856 miles away from all of my family and friends. So I'm like, okay, I had this baby here. And I was like, and it was also the first time I'd ever lived by myself.
Oh my goodness.
So needless to say, I had some like postpartum anxiety because I'm like,
of course,
I'm all by myself. I don't know what to do with this baby. Like, I'm a new mom, first time mom, whatever. And so I go to my doctor and and I'm nursing. So he gives me the same dose that he would give to like a child. And he's like, and I think he gave it to me because it would slightly help. But I think the biggest part of it was like a placebo. Like, because it was like such a low dose.
Yeah.
It was 3 milligrams of this anti-anxiety medicine. And I took it every day. And I told him, I was like, oh my God, like from day one, I just feel so much better. And he's like, yeah, I bet you do. And so, but he worked with me on diet, on lifestyle, on, all of the things like that a normal doctor just wouldn't do. A normal doctor studies medicine. They just write you a prescription and send you out the door. Right. But this doctor, like, he really worked with me on like the whole picture. Well, I moved to Utah, and me and my son's dad, this is like 2 years in, like my son is 2 years old now. He decides that he wants to fight me for visitation. So we are now going through custody court, and I go back to the doctor in Utah, and I am like, this is my situation. I'm feeling really anxious. I can't think. I can't focus. Like I'm like freaking out. I want to go back on the medicine that I had. And in Utah, their minimum dosing laws or regulations are much higher than Nevada. So I was on a 3 milligram dose of this anti-anxiety medicine. When I go to Utah, he's like, well, the minimum dose I can give you for your age and weight is 50 milligrams. And then he also prescribes me lorazepam, a 30-day prescription of lorazepam. And I look at the bottle, and he's like, oh, this is just in case of emergencies. It's an endless refill, but it's 90 tablets.
I need to move there.
And I can refill it every 30 days. I'm like, so you expect me to take 3 lorazepam every day?
It functioned and not drool from the mouth.
I'm just doing the fucking math here. And so a friend of mine lived in my neighborhood in Utah, and I came home, and it was like one of the first times my son visited his dad.
Oh yeah.
And I am at my house. I'm alone. I'm anxious. I'm nervous because I'm like, well, he didn't want anything to do with him 2 years of his life.
Exactly.
Why the hell are you, court lady, giving him all of these rights, So I took a lorazepam, and I'm like, I don't feel any different. I'm like, I'm going to open a bottle of wine. Open a bottle of wine. I have a glass of wine. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like starting to feel a little bit better. My friend, Heather, she might be listening, starts messaging me like on Instagram, I think. I don't know. Anyway, I end up going to her house. And I'm telling her all this stuff. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. Like, and the doctor gave me this medicine, but it doesn't work and blah, 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 blah. We end up having a glass of wine. I black out. And she is like, I don't think you're supposed to drink alcohol when you take lorazepam because like you're a hot mess. And I'm like, I guess not. And whatever. If she judges me, she judges me, whatever. In Utah, everyone judged me. So I just like expected it. I'm like, sorry, I'm not blonde with, 17 kids and a husband.
Right.
And,
exactly.
No self-worth. So like whatever. But I remember driving home and I'm like, I can never take this medication again. And pharmaceuticals really freak me out. That's why we are very holistic over here.
Okay.
So like I need to be able to function. I am a solo parent. I am a mother. Yeah. I'm a business owner. I don't need to be experimenting with your chemicals in my body. Okay. Like I need to function. And that is why I like wine. But
yes.
Yeah, I woke up and I drove home and I was like, oh my God, this woman is going to think I'm crazy.
Girl,
but
no.
When you're going through custody court and your doctor's giving you all kinds of funky ass shit, and then you're like, this isn't working, I'm going to drink some wine, and you're like thinking that you're going to open a bottle of wine and have a good time and just like forget that your life is a mess. No, well, I did because I blacked out. I'm like, well, I guess mission accomplished, but whatever.
Exactly. We'll definitely have to schedule another show to talk about that because this is my second marriage. And so everything that you've gone through, I've gone through, and I definitely had heavy drugs, psychiatrists, pastors, anybody that would talk to me because I'm just like, this shit doesn't make any fucking sense. So yeah, wine was definitely a part of my daily regiment. And Xanax is wonderful because girl, court and visitation and all those issues and the text messages, and when you see their name across your phone, you're just going to get sick. And going to court and dealing with them and just being in their face and then finding out about girlfriends and all this different shit. Like, girl, I've been there. Oh, we could have a whole conversation.
Gotta talk about it.
Definitely need tequila, or some type of brush because I will give you some stories. Believe me, there should be a book. So I feel you. I feel you.
Go schedule it right now. Go get on the calendar because we will make some.
We'll have to do that.
I love a good strawberry margarita. We'll make some margaritas.
Ooh,
we'll have a conversation.
Yes. Oh yeah.
We'll do it.
Oh yeah. Because the single parenting thing is motherfucking real. It's hard. It's real. I mean, just keep pushing forth. But I definitely understand every single solitary thing you said. And when we talk about it, your mind is going to be blown. Okay.
Oh God.
Mind blown.
I love finding people that can relate to that because one of the things with my show is I don't want to like put celebrities or it would be cool to talk to a celebrity, but I'm like, this show is so just raw, real, relatable women that I'm like, when I find somebody who, and I've had, housewives and I've had married women, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm like, when you can find somebody who has like kind of been through more, and that was like my struggle when I was in Utah, and and that was before the world of remote recordings, trying to find guests that weren't picture perfect in Utah, because Utah, like you think of like the Instagram models and the mommy bloggers, everything's picture perfect. But I'm like, no, this show, I don't want it to be picture. It's the opposite. I don't want it to be picture perfect. I want it to be just real, relatable women. Keep your Instagram model shit at home.
That's what I'm saying. That's that's the whole thing that we were just talking about, like before, just being different and authentic and being your own self and just knowing that other people have been through what you've been through. And a lot of us have struggles and everything. Yeah, every day's not a great day. Yes, sometimes I lock myself in the closet with champagne to get away from my kids. But there is, there's so many different things. And I can definitely, when it comes to my kids, it comes to my family, I'm super like protective over them. And I wouldn't say, yeah, I am crazy. I would say crazy. Yeah. Because, everybody can deal with a certain type of crazy. And my husband, he deals with my crazy. So he understands and he knows what he signed up for and he loves it. So it's just, but when we talk about that first motherfucker, and I do mean motherfucker with everything capital. When I tell you about when this next conversation, we definitely need all the single moms, divorced moms, married, going through something, all those types of moms and people, they need to listen in because you won't believe. I mean, he was on the news and everything. You won't believe the stories I have for you.
Dude, if we had a news.
Girl, at that time we did. At that time, like, yeah.
I'm excited.
Definitely.
Go book that right now because I'm excited for that. Because it's not often that I get to meet someone like that I just connect with on like a whole new level. As many of you know, finance is my profession. When I'm not here laughing, sipping, and chatting with all of you. I have over a decade of financial industry experience, and financial wellness is such a passion of mine. Like many things in the world, finances tend to look a little differently for women, even in today's generation. Webull has simplified the stock market and investing game with an easy-to-navigate, zero-commission platform that has free real-time quotes, multi-platform accessibility, 24/7 online help, and extended trading hours. If you're looking to increase your financial portfolio and set up your retirement IRA and start investing in yourself, click the link in the show notes below to receive 2 free stocks on me.
Yes, I'm so glad because you need those types of people in your life, especially when you are a single mom. Sometimes you need those people to push you. You need those confidence words and everything like that because they don't know what it feels like to go to court and have to deal with shit. And the judge tells you that they have to go and see that child and you have to stay away. They have to pick them up in their car and keep them for the whole week. And you're like, well, what are they going to eat? Or what are they going to do? Is they going to make sure they brush their teeth? Are they going to do this? All these different things. Or, you never have that anxiety of having to go to court or having to talk about child support and all those different things and struggling. It's good to be able to talk to somebody that has been through it. And when I say I've been through it and I made it, you can do that same thing. You're making it. You're doing it. Okay?
Yay. I'm excited for that one. This was a great episode. Thank you so much for being my guest. Oh, my microphone is way over here.
I was so nervous. I was like really nervous. And I was like, yes, the whole time. Yes, I was like, what if I don't say the right things? Or what if I don't answer this right? Or yes, I was so nervous.
Don't be nervous. The show is fun.
Yay.
I try anyway.
Yes, it was. It was.
Well, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Yes.
Yes, you too.
Go sign up. We're doing another episode.
Oh, yes.
Also, go to Publix or wherever, Kroger, get your margarita ingredients, and we're going to have a margarita night.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that because I definitely you will definitely need strong drinks for this. I don't even think I've really just shared all of my story to like people that aren't my friends. So this would be like really good. I think, I like to talk about things that could be relatable, and it's just the struggles that I have gone through before I got to where I am. You have no idea. So yes, keep pushing, keep doing your thing. You're doing great.
Well, thank you so much. I love how we coordinated and we didn't even coordinate.
Right, we popping.
Yellow and black. Oh, I saw
right. Yes, black.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye, girl.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Mommy Wines podcast. make sure to leave a rating and review. And don't forget, if you're listening on YouTube, to give this video a big thumbs up and make sure to subscribe. And feel free to share this episode with your friends. Be like, hey girl, just listen to this super awesome and relatable podcast from Mommy Wines. Here's the link to the episode. Have fun. You know. And to support the show and keep it growing, snag some MWP merchandise available at themommywines.com. You can also find all of my wine gadgets and my favorites right there under the shop page. For even more tipsy content, follow Mommy Wines Podcast on Instagram. On IG, I go live with real wine industry professionals. I try new sips, connect with all of you wine moms, and share some pretty funny memes, if I do say so myself. All sponsor info and links will be available in the details below. So until next Wine Wednesday, mamas, parent and drink responsibly.